how old are you?
I am 28.
All right, we're talking about these taboo topics. Are you single or are you married?
I am single.
All right.
Mhm.
Any children?
3.
Oh, damn, you've been working.
Yes, yes, yes.
How many fathers?
I'm not gonna lie, 3.
I'm
Hmm.
always fascinated when I hear one with 3 kids, but why? Just how does that happen?
Honestly, I'm gonna chop it up to my personal childhood.
Okay.
I had both parents not really involved, not the proper guidance. And when it came to decision making, I didn't have the best decision making experiences. I will be honest, my kids are a good bit apart in age range. So I have a 9-year-old, 4-year-old, and then an 11-month-old. So it wasn't back to back. It was space. But yeah.
So what? I mean, okay. So 3 kids, 3 different fathers, and by age 60, what do you want life to look like?
By age 60. Okay. So by age 60, I would like to be hopefully retired. Hopefully, I'll have my businesses established. I have trust funds for my kids. My
You
kids
said trust funds for
have
your
been through
kids.
college. Hmm.
You say trust funds for your kids. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I think it's trust funds or like
Mm-hmm.
at least some type of insurance for my kids or something where they'll be set if I'm gone.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Kids have already had college paid for. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
I picture myself like living on a beach somewhere or maybe in another country. Living my best life at 60.
Well, okay. So trust funds, college, businesses. Where's all this money gonna come from?
Well, that's what I'm actually trying to figure out now. I'm basically interested in becoming my own boss, building my own empire pretty much. I know realistically it's not going to take just me. I know in life, a lot of things are based off of partnerships, networking, things like that. But I want to get to a point where I'm my own boss. I have...
Why do you want to be your own boss?
Okay, good question. Very good
Mm-hmm.
question. When it comes to like 9-to-5 jobs, I've always felt, I guess, being in a position of being told what to do and having to like just communicate with somebody over me always made me feel like I don't want to have to do that.
So do you realize that everything that you listed out, trust funds, college, businesses, retirement at 60, living your best life, you're going to be told what to do by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of different authorities over you.
Okay.
I'm just saying, millionaires have bosses. Billionaires have bosses.
Okay.
What kind of business would you want to have to fund all this?
So, like I said, like I was trying to say, everything's a learning process. And honestly, I'm not sure what's going to really bring me to the top. I know as of right now, I'm in the beginning stages. I have an online boutique set up at the moment. Okay. I'm waiting on products to come in. But I'm also interested in podcasting and possibly creating courses towards like maybe like financing, budgeting, things of that sort, parenting. It's like a broad spectrum.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Finance to parenting. So did you go to college?
I'm currently in college, actually.
You're 27?
28.
28. So what state do you live in?
I'm in Louisiana.
So what kind of annual income do you think you would need to live that lifestyle?
As far as like
Yeah, how much money you
my
gonna need?
goals,
Yeah. Yeah, everything that you say you want. You have three kids. You want them to have college and trust funds, and you want the businesses, the travel, retire. How much money you think you're gonna need to make a year? Because it's pretty, pretty broad life.
yeah. Annually, I'm thinking maybe 250 to 500K.
Okay, and how many? So if you split the difference, that's 300 and some $1,000 a year
Yeah.
by yourself.
Mhm.
What percentage of women in this country make that amount of money?
I'm gonna be honest and say I really don't know, but I would like to know.
You're like around 0.5%,
Okay.
0.1%. And what kind of professions uh, pay that kind of money consistently?
Professions. So we're
Hmm?
saying like as far okay.
Yeah, to make 300 some odd $1,000 a year, what would a woman need to do?
Oh well, doctor, obviously, or at least close to that amount.
Hmm.
Lawyers,
Hmm.
um, business owners, like
What kind of business?
hmm, real estate. Real estate can
Real estate salesperson. Real estate is broad. People often say real estate, but what do you mean?
I know when you're like I know people when I think of real estate
Hmm.
and I think of like higher incomes with real estate, I think of people who are like selling homes.
Yeah,
So
you're thinking of people who are selling expensive homes,
yes.
but those are very limited.
Okay.
There are people who sell those kind of homes are limited, and the people who can buy those kind of homes are limited. So, I mean, often people think of real estate because you don't have to go to college for it.
Right.
So everything you've talked about,
hmm
you need to go to college for.
hmm
But you didn't go to college, or you're in college now for what?
Business administration right now.
Which is a meaningless degree.
Yeah, it's a very
So for what your dreams are pretty extravagant.
hmm
Did your mother and father make that kind of money?
nah, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No. My mom touched like 100,000, 150,000. She's
What is she? She's a what?
an RN, a registered nurse.
Did she make that during your childhood?
At one point during my childhood, but mainly closer to when I was like older. But
Your mom, as a nurse, made $150,000.
at one point, yeah.
Okay. What'd your dad do?
My dad was so I met my dad when I was like 17.
So
But
he wasn't there. What do your children's fathers do?
one's an entrepreneur, I'm not gonna lie. One of them actually is doing something with himself, but the other two, one's not involved.
So I gotta ask a question. A
Sure.
woman who comes from Louisiana, who seems to come from, let's just say, middle class.
hmm
The lifestyle you just described was upper class.
hmm
Now, why jump from middle class to upper class? Somebody's got to pay for that.
hmm
Why not just middle class?
Well, I just personally don't want to settle for middle class. I want to create, and like I said, I know I possibly won't be able to do it on my own. I mean, anything is possible. I do preach that, but
You won't be able to do it on your own. You mean with a man?
I wouldn't say I need a man, but definitely business partnerships, people to network with, people who could help me develop into what I'm trying to develop into. I'm not saying I know it all because I don't.
So what's wrong with being this average, normal?
I guess I'm just not resonating with it. I want more.
Okay.
I
Wanting is fine. What kind of grades did you make in high school?
pretty good grades.
What is that? What's your GPA?
When I graduated high school, my GPA was a 3.6.
Okay. But you didn't go to college.
I did on and off.
But you did. Okay. You want an upper class lifestyle, but you didn't do what it takes to make upper class money the legal way.
Mm-hmm.
You say you're not resonating with. Why do you have to resonate with what you are?
Okay.
I mean, Louisiana is one of the poorest states in the union. And your people aren't rich. And even as a mother with 3 children from 3 different guys, and you're in school for business administration, that is not a degree you go to school for to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really just, I did a broadcast yesterday about University of Southern California, USC, selling $115,000 social work degrees to make $52,000 a year. Mm-hmm. The kind of lifestyle you're talking about, man, comes with being a high-end executive or a high-end professional. Mm-hmm. But in our community, we often talk about real estate because you don't have to go to college, or somehow being an entrepreneur or business owner, as if people pay you money for nothing.
Right.
You got to do something. Competence gets compensated. Where did this appetite for our upper class lifestyle come from? Because you didn't come from it, so you didn't see it. Mm-hmm. Where did it come from?
Well, even though my mom and dad weren't upper class, I do have family members that are. And not only that, I guess just the want to create or give my children that upper class lifestyle.
But your children aren't upper class.
Okay.
I mean, they're not.
No, they're not.
I mean, okay, everybody wants to give their kids the best. Mm-hmm. But in order to give the kids the best, you have to have it yourself. Have you lived your life in such a way to think it's possible to do what you're talking about?
Right.
I'm asking.
I don't feel that I've taken the proper steps in my younger years to set myself up for the lifestyle that I want.
Okay.
But I also am a firm believer that anything is possible. Mm-hmm. If the action is there. Like you said earlier, you said earlier.
Well, if the actions are there, but how many times do you hear average, everyday, middle class people say that? I mean, you have girlfriends or homies that you talk with about your dreams?
Honestly, no. I don't really.
But you see it online. I know I see it every day. Middle class and lower middle class people every day talking about it's all possible. Mm-hmm. Faith and all this other stuff. All right. Well, if it's all possible, and if they all got it, wouldn't that mean you'd have to have even more money because $300,000 would be the new normal? Mm-hmm. Is it really all possible? If 1/10 of 1% of women earn $300,000, that ain't even 1%.
Okay.
Is it really possible? It's possible, but is it probable?
Okay.
And see, a lot of you ladies talk about possibilities. instead of probabilities. And everything you said, you said you're going to do this as a single woman. What is the likelihood of that? What is the probability of that?
Well, statistically speaking, it is a kind of a very slim chance.
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to say is ultimately, if you have two kids and you said the fathers and three kids and two of the fathers aren't really doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then how do you go from that situation to trust funds for your kids and college paid for your kids? And it all revolves around this business that you haven't defined. And you'd have to make $300,000+ from that business.
Mm-hmm.
That's take home pay.
Right.
That's not earned. That's not, so that's more of a dream.
Okay.
I mean, I don't, unless you have a plan. It's not like you said, I'm going to school, I'm going to go to law school, and then I'm planning to go be a trial lawyer or corporate. And I mean, right now I'm going to go to business. Business is one of the easiest degrees to get.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's common,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get a common degree, an average degree, and you live the middle class average lifestyle. But for you, somehow it's going to turn into rich. How is that going to happen?
Well, that's why I'm on here to learn. Whether I mentor from whoever, I don't know every step it takes to get to a certain level of class. But I know that I have the willingness to learn. I know that.
Okay. There are people who have your same willingness to learn, everything else. But the kind of money you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
it's just not possible. It's not probable. I mean, think about how many people who want the same outcome. How many people can get it?
Right.
So I'm asking, why not just live a life that's within your reach? And you don't want to live normal.
I mean, I can live a life that's within my reach, but am I going to give up on what I want to or ideally want to become? No,
But,
I'm not going to.
Okay, but give up on what you want to become. What is that?
If I'm gonna be 100% honest, a millionaire. Like, period. Am I?
See, this is one thing I don't understand. Is that when I was coming up, people expected to do what their parents did, maybe a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
You guys expect to do 10 times better than the people that raised you.
Right.
Well, if that became the new normal, that would still be doing what your parents did. Y'all expect to become millionaires just because you have the smartphone and the internet. People don't just pay you for nothing.
Nope.
All right, and you don't have those skills.
Skills can be learned.
No, they can't. Not with 3 children. No, they can't.
Okay.
No, they can't. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. At 27 years old with an 11-year-old and these kids, I can't be. What skills are those? Where would you go? Yes, true. Skills can be learned. Where would you go learn?
Well, I guess the beneficial thing about the world, the technical world we live in right now, is there are ways to research and just kind of branch out to people who are on a certain level, wanting to share how they got to that level, and you pay for that knowledge.
Okay. Where do you go? So you're gonna find a guru or somebody, and you pay them. You're gonna find a mentor or somebody who knows. How much you gotta pay them for that?
Not sure what's like. I guess the average cost is anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 for like certain events. Work.
So you think you can find somebody and pay them $3,500 the average,
Okay.
$3,000 to become a millionaire?
Well, it's not necessary to become a millionaire, but it's to give you the knowledge to set yourself up to what goals and dreams you have. Now,
Okay, so they're gonna give you. You're gonna go to a seminar or a course, and they'll give you a blueprint,
pretty
but
much
you got to work it. Who makes the money off of that?
the mentor or guru or whatever.
Yeah, man. This is why people of color are so susceptible to get rich quick schemes of multi-level marketing, because we all seem to think that we can take pennies or dollars and give it to somebody, and then they can just shake it up and give us back $1 million. You can't even do that on the street. You can't even take $3,000 on the street and turn it into $1 million like that.
Okay.
Because if it was that easy, people will be lining up to do that if it were guaranteed. But see, this is how the rich have taken advantage of the poor, making you think that come buy my $1 million course. And I see so many women of color buying into. I talk to somebody every week who thinks they're gonna become a million. I talk to a girl. I just don't understand when you don't see that in your life. That's not what you see. That's not even in your world. It's not even very realistic. But I understand the desire. But is it really possible?
Or probable, in your words.
We're going on maybe $1 million. Then what, Kevin? What are we gonna refer this conversation? What if I do? It's a lot of people who Little Durk. I mean, even though he's a rapper, he's just gotta go get his high school diploma. You can obtain great success and wealth without going to school or working a job. Honestly, name a job. Name one job that I can work with a degree that will bring me in more than $5 million a year. Am I going to obtain the money that I want to obtain working for somebody else? Where I'm going to get it from? In the government? Like where I'm going to get it? Like I want to build generational wealth, and I'm not going to do that really working for somebody else. I have to have different streams of income. You know this. You don't just have one job. That's why even when you were 26, you had two. You understand?
Dangerous minds.
That's the same idea, right? I grow my business too.
Yep. That was one young black woman who was saying some of the same stuff you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 days before her, I spoke to another young lady who was saying some similar stuff, that she had went and sat down at Spectacular or some seminar. And, it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real. And they're telling you guys what you want to hear. But she's saying the same things. She said the same thing about manifest, hope, gurus, courses.
Now, I'm not saying like you can manifest and hope I mean, like you said earlier, faith without works is dead. I'm a firm believer in that. You have to have action behind everything you do, even your prayers. You have to put the action behind it to quote unquote manifest anything. And I'm not saying 100% that I'll be able to achieve what I desire and what I ultimately want as far as, an annual income. I just know that I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to take steps, and I'm willing to try.
Right.
The taste of redemption.
So my concern is that women like you you're average, normal, everyday, middle class people with rich dreams, and you don't want to be average. It's like being average or normal is a failure. but you don't get to have what you want without work.
Right.
There is no shortcut. And I don't think that I think a lot of you ladies tell yourselves this stuff, but it's not realistic.
I'm trying to get a husband. 200K is good. 200.
So I got all kind of videos where women who are saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another young lady, it's just like, do your kids need you to be rich?
No, my kids need me to be a mother. They need
Okay.
me to make sure.
Where's a man in all of this?
In my personal situation?
Yeah, I mean, because in all of the stuff you said you want to do, there was not one mention of a man.
I didn't think we were going to have that conversation, but
well, I'm just saying because you said it's like, well, doing it all on your own, that's a possibility. I mean, sure, it's hard to do that way, but how you gonna make that kind? Most people don't earn that kind of money by themselves.
Right, absolutely, I agree. I do feel like that's what I guess I meant by a partnership. Somebody who I'm with, who we can work together to reach certain goals. I do feel like as a single mother of 3 with 3 baby daddies, it makes it a bit harder for me. You know, I'm not a single woman with no kids.
Right.
So when it comes to men, you know, it's competition, and I would have to come with something a bit better than a woman who's single with no kids. You feel
right? I do. So is it going to be easier to do that or to live this idea of what you're talking about? I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure how easy it is for me to get somebody who wants to marry me or whatever the case may be. I know that I do have people that want me. I do have people that's interested in me. There are people who's like, okay, they'll accept my kids. But at the end of the day, you know, I know what baggage I come with. I know that I have 3 kids. I know that I have 3 daddies. So realistically, oh yeah, I'm going to be a wife and all that. That's not really in my mind right now. What's in my mind right now is getting myself financially stable enough to be able to, if I'm never in a situation where I can be with somebody long term, at least I'm financially stable enough to be able to take care of my kids with or without a man's help.
Okay. Well, financially stable doesn't come through business administration and then just having some sort of business. See, often you ladies talk about business as if owning a business is the cure for everything. Those really get pumped a lot in the Black community. So many of our women just say business as if business is supposed to cure and fix things. It doesn't. Because I mean, this so-called business is the linchpin or it's the key to making your life work. Because, here's the woman. This is the woman, a long video, and this is the woman talking about she needs a $900,000 home. And no, her dreams are right in line with yours. And this is the woman who's 24 years old, and she went to some seminar. And see, the thing is, ma'am, if you would have sat down and talked to a counselor and said, you know what, I want to make $300,000 a year, take home. And if they had to tell you the truth, that it said, you're not going to be able to do it with this degree. It's just not realistic. If you had to say, what kind of business am I qualified to go start? What is it? I mean, it's not, competence gets compensated. So I don't like seeing women who's saying, well, a man is not the answer, so I need to make myself together. So college ain't the answer either, not business administration. The answer is look at your life and say, I have 3 children. And the average, 74% of Black women in this country earn less than $50,000. You're in one of the brokest states in the union. And most women don't earn what you're talking about. Nursing would have been a better option for the highest amount of money, but the hours are long.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, you want to live this extravagant lifestyle. But that's reserved for people who make that kind of money.
Right.
So it's one thing to dream like that when you're a kid. But as a mother with 3 kids, I need to pour some cold water on you and say, you got to wake up. You can't dream like that. You need to get a real profession. Business administration is a waste of time. You need to get something that's going to pay you stable, consistent money. Why didn't you? So having a mother who was an RN, why didn't you think about that?
It's funny that you say that because, like, about a week ago, I had a dream, and
why didn't you think about that initially? There's a reason.
Actually, initially was going for that.
But,
I was for that degree.
But
I don't know. Honestly, life happened, and having kids in the midst of everything.
But school is still school.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So are you enrolled full time?
I can still change my. Yeah, currently I'm full time.
So is it too hard?
Not now, but previously it wasn't that the.
Well, okay. Well, see, you seem like a good-hearted, free-spirit kind of person, but ma'am, you're gonna have to live the rules.
Okay.
and you can't sit around and talk about I don't like rules and structure. You got 3 kids and 3 baby daddies. That ain't. You need some structure.
Okay.
Because those kids need more than a mom that's just dreaming. Business administration, you might as well wipe your ass with that degree. Because you take that anywhere and be a starting salary for what kind of jobs can you do with a business administration degree? I mean, see, they don't even do, and this is what I wish they would do when you guys went to college. I wish they would do more career planning instead of just taking you ladies' money. What kind of jobs for a business administration degree? What kind of jobs can you get with a business administration degree?
It should be like payroll and
not many.
CEO of certain businesses.
Ma'am, you're not gonna be CEO or nothing. Come on now. And CEO of a major corporation, a procurement officer, an office administrator, human resource manager, franchise manager, business consultant, which is after you have some experience, but most of it is mid-level work, $40,000 to $70,000 a year, maybe. But you notice how you automatically shoot to the top. CEO. What does that stand for?
What does CEO stand for? Chief Executive Officer.
What do they do?
They run the company pretty much. Pretty much, they're the head chief.
And what kind of CEOs make the kind of money you're talking about?
It would definitely have to be a very, very successful corporation. Maybe
and how many women who are mothers of 3 who coming out of college as late as you are skip all those candidates who went to all those qualified schools and went to Princeton and Wharton and all those other places and just become CEOs? Man, please stop dreaming so big. I'm gonna say this. I wish some of our ladies would stop dreaming so big and start living life realistically. And see, that's just like I had this conversation with the young lady. You crushing my dreams and this and that. This country lives off of Black women fantasies of grandeur. You're by yourself, trying to get these unrealistic jobs and titles, and while everybody else is doing it together.
Right.
16 to be and I don't hate to say it, you have to say it. The top 1% or higher than that is very competitive, and you have to start that out early on. And people ain't gonna just let you take their jobs. You know, people work for years to get a
Yeah.
promotion like that. And let's get real. Let's get real. You really want the money. You don't want the job. You want the money that leads to lifestyle. Is that or is that would that be fair?
Mm.
Or you want the stress of leading an organization of hundreds of thousands of people? You want the stress of meeting quarterly budgets. You want the stress of 16-hour days and all that. You want for
Right.
20. You want that stress. Or you want the lifestyle that comes along with that income. Be honest with yourself.
I mean, it would definitely be nice.
Do you want the money that comes along with it, or do you want? Okay, how tall are you?
Child, 5'3".
Dress
No,
size?
5'4". I'm
Dress
sorry.
size?
Huh?
Dress size?
I'm a 2X. I don't know like the numeric size of it, but I'm a
How much?
2X.
How much you weighed last time you weighed yourself?
Ooh, we doing this online.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
For a very good reason. For a good reason. I always do.
Ooh.
Come on now.
Well, I knew he was gonna hit me with
Of course. But this is for a very good reason.
250.
Right. Ma'am, executives are people who are professional athletes for work.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even in physical shape to do that job.
Okay.
Do you notice how most executives are fitness nuts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you have to have a kind of health and a drive and ability to focus and do something. And what's the last thing you focused on and did for 5 years consistently, day in and day out? That's what I'm saying. You seem like a nice woman, but really, in another generation, you would have been somebody's wife, and y'all would have tried to make a life together. But in this world, we've told women that just do what you want to do, and college was going to be the answer. Get a business, go get a bag, and that's not how it works. So now you're in a crunch. I got too many kids for a certain kind of men. I'm out of shape for this kind of men, and I haven't lived my life this way. So now what do? I have to dream, because the reality of my choices is kind of depressing. But you gotta choose the best life you can make out of what you got.
Right.
What you got right now is I would consider nursing or something like that, something that's a higher paying job. And you need to be focusing on retirement at 60. 65 is retirement age. There ain't gonna be no trust funds. I mean, that's just not how most people live. Good conversation. That's just not how most people live. Most people have to work and struggle and live at their means. And far too many of us want to have these extravagant lives when we see that on TV and Instagram. And that's just not the real world. I think you know that, especially in Louisiana.
Yeah. I don't think even where I'm from set me up for anything. It makes it a bit harder.
Dreaming is good for the kids, but as adults, reality is what it is. And I'm going to say it. I don't know, your youngest child, are you and the father cool or what?
Yeah, we're really. I'm going to say it's complicated. We're kind of.
Is he married?
No, he's no.
He's the reason you guys didn't get together?
I can honestly accept accountability. I have to heal.
Let me just go and hit you where you need to carry your ass back to him, because if he accepted you with 2 kids and wanted to be with you, that's your best bet.
Yeah, but I have a lot of
I don't. You got
trauma. Therapy I need to
Ma'am,
see.
if they're okay, that sounds like a convenient out, but the reality is at your level, your income,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna need $2.4 million by 65 to retire on.
Okay.
You're not middle class people. Middle class women can't be by themselves, and that's the lie. It's like therapy, and it's like we're just basically saying, I need to wait. All right, go to my broadcast yesterday and look at the articles I put up.
Okay.
Black women are aging and dying alone, and if you got a man who you had a child with, that's your best bet, because at least you got a kid with him. The rest of the men, black women are aging alone. There's a black woman in here in the South. I was probably one step away from being on the street. 4 years after the stock market crash of 2008, her life savings and investment was gone. She was forced to sell the house she co-owned and lived in with her aunt and her mother. This is happening all over this world. That woman, you know what she did? She is an academic coach in Virginia. You don't make enough money to be by yourself.
Okay.
And you're not going to get into this $300,000 fantasy. Whatever you need to do to fix yourself, spin that plate, talk to your baby daddy. Y'all got a kid together. Black folk, we need to get realistic, because this is crazy. So good conversation, but life is real.
Okay.
And we got to start living life like it's real. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
I think that was a lot going on in that conversation, but the difference between somebody who's willing to listen and that first, everybody got something, granted. But ladies, weight and kids, men aren't just going to say, I'll take that. They're just not. And I think it's funny that women like that first woman get so angry that men are finally saying, no, thank you. I don't meet many men who sit around living thinking of these grandiose lifestyles. And I tell you why. Because we men know we got to pay for everything. If I were to do this whole what do you want thing with men are not going to tell you, I want to retire by 60 and own a restaurant and travel and this, because they're going to sit back and say, I make this amount of money. I already got to live like this, because the world gives men nothing. The world gives you lady stuff, and they give you a man as a bailout plan. Like it or not, many women think that if I get married, a man can be a bailout plan. Men are not bailout plans, especially if you're not coming to men the way men want to be come to. So let's see if we have anybody. Oh, Mina's still waiting. I did say I was going to get Mina.